Hi, this is Peter Godinez, your host of Your Pivot Journey. And everybody is making a pivot right now, especially people in sales and marketing. And I have somebody who I met years ago, we won't say, well, that I really respect, and his journey has given him a lot of insight, that I've asked him if he would just give us some insights in regards to what it takes to sell and market, and especially after the pandemic. And that's Dave Squires. And Dave, why don't you say hello to our audience and tell them a little bit about yourself?
Well, good morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever it might be when you're viewing this. My name is Dave Squires, as Peter said. He's being a little bit clandestine and talking about how long ago we met. It was almost 40 years. I've had a wide range of career positions within marketing, sales, business development, mostly in high-tech areas, especially in the last 20 years of my career. So I've been in everything from field sales assignments to field sales management assignments to headquarters marketing assignments, on into working for software startups and working for well-established privately owned businesses that do international business. So kind of had a wide array of exposure to some of the topics that we're going to talk about today, Peter, which is why it's very, very difficult to find entry-level sales positions in this day and age. For the most part, companies that are hiring want to hire people that have experience. Change. Sales training is abysmal today, for the most part. The individual salesperson to invest in themselves and find the resources, be creative, find the resources to go deep. Don't expect your employer to provide it. It's not taught in schools. You're never going to learn it in university. All you're going to learn in university is the basic items that you can rely on kind of as a basis, but the details of what you need to know, 99% of what you're going to need to learn, you're going to need to learn in your job. And of that 99%, probably 80% of it, you got to learn it on your own. Again, back in the old days, someone who was very good at human relationships could succeed very well because they're so likable and people buy from people. Well, it's still true today. People buy from people, but smart people buy from smart people. And the reality is that technology managers or managers within technical areas of business have to be smart to survive. So you got to be a smart salesperson in order to be relevant to those smart people. Most calls, most outgoing, what we would have called telephonics back in the day. Remember, 40 telephonics calls a day. You got to make 40 outgoing calls a day. Those are physical calls by a person. That doesn't happen anymore. I don't know of a single industry that's doing that anymore. They all remember the days of 40 cold calls a day?
Very well. I'm still getting therapy on it, but go ahead, Dave.
You can't do that anymore.
No. Oh, heck no.
Every building has security. They got locks on the door. They don't have receptionists anymore. You can't cold call anymore. You can't cold call on the phone anymore. Direct mail, abysmal return rates on business to business. What's left for prospects? Honestly, very industry specific trade shows. Right. You got to pay the price to rent the booth and build the booth and do all those things, and they're very selected. You talk about narrow and deep. The trade shows have been extraordinarily narrow and deep. Well, okay. Well, what happened in 2020? Not many trade shows going on, were there?
Nope.
So now, how do you get prospects in a world where pandemic is the biggest issue out there? Again, in your terms, you have to figure out a way to pivot. Are there virtual trade shows? Can you leverage social media? I see a lot more companies pivoting to social media and their presence and push messages amongst a list of customers or potential customers that they have permission to push messages to. You have to look at your industry and see where are the decision makers spending their time? What do they see as their resource to learn? They're hungry to learn because they have to stay on top of it. Now, if you have the knowledge, they'll be hungry to work with you. If you don't have the knowledge, you're just another salesperson trying to waste their time. And I think for anyone that's considering, how can I set my life up so I can really invest in myself and I can reach financial independence and retire early, one way to do that is through a professional sales career. But it's got to be a professional sales career in a highly technical area where you bring a lot of value, and you first have to earn the right to that by investing in yourself and in your specific, detailed, deep knowledge. And if you don't do that, don't think you're going to escape just because you're affable and nice and people like you, because you'll be the nice guy that they don't buy from.